Hello guys, today I continue videos for your basement protection and specifically for the sump pump protection, and I'm gonna show you the setup for the power backup system that I have here for the sump pump, and it consists with the power inverter charger and this lithium ion battery which coupled together and connected to the sump pump, and hopefully, and I will test it, they will provide the protection when the power is off and I'm not available, I'm not at home, or I need the time to switch on my generator and reconnect the pump to the grid. In this setup I use lithium ion lifetime 12 volt 100 amps battery and this sump pump backup system, which is inverter plus charger from Vivor or Wever. It's 2000 watt 20 amps charging system, and right now is charging this battery. One very important thing I need to tell you when you set up this system, very important. I did not see it in manuals, installation guides for the battery for this inverter. So whenever you connect the inverter to the battery, and it doesn't matter if you connect the black wire first or the red one first, doesn't matter. You will get a spark when you connect the second wire. Just to give you an example. So let's say you disconnected the entire system. There is no power going on into the inverter, so it's fully disconnected, off. Now you connected the red one to the red on the battery, and then you connected the black one to the battery. So the moment you're touching the black, the metal touches on here, you might see the spark. You might experience the spark. The same way if you connect the battery to the capacitor. So you connect the first wire, let's say black one, it all goes good. Then you connect the red one here, and then the red one touches the metal on the red here. You might experience a spark, and that's a problem because you might fry the inverter very easily. So to mitigate that, you can have multiple solutions. You might install a switch, a breaker, which will be additional connection on the red one. So you'll have to install, let's say, a switch, then connect the red one to the switch, and then red to here, and then connect all wires, switch on. You will not experience spark. However, I didn't have a switch, I didn't have a breaker, so the other solution is to have resistor. You just connect resistor here, and then you connect the black wire to the resistor, and it will just charge the capacitors here really quickly, and you just need a couple of seconds, and then you will avoid the spark. However, I did not have neither of them, so the simplest solution, and it really works, and I checked a couple of YouTube videos, same thing. You just use a simple pencil, because of the graphite inside. What you need to do is, let's say you connected the red ones, all good. Now you connected the black one here, and then you're about to connect black one here. So to avoid spark, you just touch this pencil to the metal on the battery, and then the other side. And see, I didn't even sharpen it from this side because the graphite is exposed. And then on the other side, you will touch the wire to the graphite. You will wait for a couple of seconds, and it will avoid the spark. It will give the power to the capacitors a little bit, and then you're good. You can put this wire on the metal, no sparks whatsoever. So that's a very important thing I need to advise you before you install the whole system, because you might just simply fry your expensive inverter. Now, right now it's in the charging mode, and I think it can be many hours. I will expect 10-12 hours to fully charge, and then I expect these fans to stop, and it will be in the idle mode. So when it happens, I will come back and I will shoot the video to basically test it in the grid mode and when the grid is off. Right now you can see these lights. These light is connected to the inverter, so it works because the inverter also connected to the power supply. But later on we're gonna test disconnecting from the power supply and testing the sump pump multiple times. Stay tuned. Alrighty, so I heard constant beeping and I came down and the display was flashing. I guess this V1 was flashing, and then these lights were flashing. See, now there are two greens, but the charging one was red and I was like flashing a little bit of orange. So I guess it was indicating that the battery is nearly charged because it was switching on and off fans for about a minute. But now you see both are green, so charging is green. Actually, charge is green, means that the battery is charged, and working is green. So again, 2000 watts, pure sine wave, 20 amps, charging, and you see how the display looks right now. So it indicates that the battery is fully charged and it's fully ready. Again, that's the battery I use. So what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna bring the garden hose right here in this pit, and you can see, well, let me show the lights. Okay, as you can see, the pit is almost empty. There is nothing coming from this pipe. And what we're gonna do, I'm gonna start filling it up with water until it triggers the pump. And I'm not gonna disconnect this system from the grid. So I wanna test it in the normal conditions when I have the power and the pump is powered by this inverter. That's very important, that it all works within normal conditions. And then after some usage, I'm gonna switch it, or actually I'll just unplug it, and then I'm gonna see if the pump continues working, and I'll see maybe 10-20 cycles using the power from this battery through the inverter. And I'll show you guys how it looks right here on the display. As you can see, the garden hose is here, the pit is still empty. What we're gonna do, we're gonna put the water in, you see the pressure is just tremendous here. I'm gonna wait until it triggers the pump. And remember, the pump right now is connected to the inverter, which is in its turn connected to the grid. So this is a normal condition that we're testing right now. And also, as you can see, while I'm filling up this pit with water, it also goes backwards to the pipe which connected to the French drain. So because the pipe is pretty much empty, I'm filling it backwards. So we have to wait a little bit until the pipe is full and the water level goes up, because I do not want to trigger this sump pump manually, which I can, just lifting up the floater, but I really want it to be as natural as possible. So we'll just have to wait until the level of the water rises and it triggers this floater to trigger the pump. While we're waiting, because we're still waiting, I just wanted to tell you that you can see how important it is to do proper testing of your system. Just connecting the inverter to the battery and connecting all together some pump or multiple pumps does not guarantee the system will work. You really have to run multiple tests, and you really have to simulate real conditions, not just lifting up the floater or just pouring the uh, bucket of water into your pit. You have to have a garden hose, just fit it through your window in the basement and just test it as much as you can. And only after that you leave the system connected, and you will hope it's gonna work when it's needed. Also, for my case, I have a pedestal pump, but in the future I'm planning to have two pumps. One is gonna be submersible, and I will replace this pedestal with the same one, which will add me more protection. I will connect one pump to the inverter and another pump to the grid. So, but I'll see. That's the future plans. Right now, I want to test this system, which actually takes a lot of time to fill up the water. It is really impressive how much water this French drain system holds under and around the house. I just keep waiting, and the pit is not filling up because the water goes to the backwards to the French drain. But it's good because later on, all this water will get back to me, and I will be able to test this pump properly. Eh, Nothing changed. As you can see from the first attempt, the pump really worked out of the inverter, which connected to the grid. So we'll do a couple more tests, and then we're gonna unplug the inverter and see how it works just off the battery. So it looks like everything works fine when we have inverter connected to the grid. Let's unplug it. So okay, it's unplugged. You see that the indicating lights went on. See, working is red, which means there is no supply coming to this inverter, and here actually nothing changed. Let's wait. Okay, so what you have just noticed is, let's put back, is that this inverter worked because there's no power supply, and triggered the output from the battery through the inverter to this 1/3 horsepower pedestal pump. So it's not super powerful pump. The one that I'm gonna install will be half a horsepower. This one 1/3 of horsepower, and you've seen that it's triggered about 6 to 700 watts continuous usage, and I don't see it right now. I think it peaked to what, 800 to 900 watts, which is amazing because this inverter, it has 4,000 watts peak, which, I mean, 5 times higher than this pump requires. So I guess this setup with 100 amp battery and 2000 watt inverter should hold pretty long. We're gonna see. Yeah, we're gonna see how it goes. So I'll continue having water flowing here, and we'll see. So yeah, I just checked. The continuous usage is like 600 to 650 watts, which is perfect. I'm gonna test it maybe 10 to 20 more times. I really want to see if it continuously can power the pump, which seems like, and then I'll tell you the results. And so far it shows that the battery is pretty much charged. There is no indication of draining out the battery quickly. I can show you. It's been 2 times, but you can see right there. See the battery? It's fully charged.
If you like this video, find it valuable or helpful, do me a huge favor, hit that thumbs up button or subscribe. This will help to spread it out to more people and hopefully will help them as well. Thanks again, and let's get back to the video.
So I just looked up, and honestly I didn't see the surge. So I didn't see the spike of the wattage used. It actually was lower than 646. So I don't really know how many watts this pump uses at the start. It actually shows lower than 640. So continuous use is like 640, 650 watts. It's 1/3 horsepower pedestal pump. It's been 3 times right now. Again, of course, your Sump pump might be working faster. There could be more water coming or less. What I can tell you right now, that this inverter will definitely give me enough time to connect the generator and to calculate how long will it last just on the battery. I will try to. I'll share the results with you. So far, the challenge for me is that this battery doesn't show me the exact capacity, because it doesn't have such function. So I can only guess from the inverter, and so far it shows that the battery is entirely charged. So 3 times the battery is full. Well, I guess it can, and I see 4 bars on the battery, so at least it can run 12 times. At least, but I guess it's gonna run way longer. This little light is also running from the inverter, which drains the battery a little bit, just a little bit. Yeah, it definitely doesn't show the um, surge. It doesn't show the maximum wattage at the start of this pump, but 640 watts is the continuous usage, and so far it's just pretty smooth on the inverter. I don't see anything. It just passes the current to the pump, and that's it. It just works flawlessly. I hope it's gonna work in the long term. Alright, guys. So I ran this test on this Sump pump with inverter unplugged for 10 times. Worked flawlessly, and you can see the charge on this battery shows full, which I hope is correct measurement, because if it is, well, then looking at these 4 bars, which I know is not 100% accurate, but looking at those 4 bars, I can tell you that this inverter with the battery can run this pump for 40 times without issues. And the last test, what we're gonna do is we're gonna plug this inverter back in and simulate the condition when the grid power is restored, and let's see what happens. No changes here. Let's see what is at the back. Okay, so you can see that the charging started blinking, so it charges the battery. Working light is green, and yeah, it charges up the battery, which I don't know what it charges because it indicates the battery is full. And again, it's not very accurate indication. And now, if you have a budget, you can probably get lithium battery that can indicate you the capacity, because there are some with the Bluetooth which you connect to, but I really wanted to get this lifetime battery because of the good reviews, good feedback. So far I see amazing customer service. They keep contacting me asking how it is, how is it working, imagine, with their all sales. And their manuals are fantastic, very easy to read. They have videos. Actually, for this specific battery, 12 volt 100 amp, I could easily find a video of the installation, connection with multiple batteries, like everything, pretty much everything on their website. And yeah, I'm amazed with their customer support and with the battery. The only downside, I didn't have a budget to buy a battery with the Bluetooth connection to show me the capacity, the everything, the metadata of the battery. But it's fine because so far I see my system works. Again, tested 10 times, worked flawlessly without the grid, and with the grid, it's almost there. Just want to see how it's showing. Let's just wait a little bit. It's gonna trigger very soon. Nothing really shows on the inverter, which means I'll show you real quick. See, it's a 0 watt, which means the entire power goes from the grid. So you don't need any switches for this inverter. Um, it just switches on and off automatically between grid and off grid, and puts the power from the battery. Alright guys, this review came a little bit longer than I anticipated, But I hope I've shown you this battery, the inverter, and how it works, how to connect, some culprits, and most important, I shown you how this system works when the water is in your pit and it's coming, and I shown you how it works with the grid on, with the power off, and with the power back on. No failure so far. I'm gonna continue testing it. We'll see how it goes. So far, I'm just impressed with the charging capacity, with how it behaves. No complaints. This lifetime battery and this Viver Sump pump inverter, everything just works flawlessly. Right, thanks for watching, and as usual, let me know if you have any questions. I'll try to answer, or anything you want to know down in the comments. Cheers.